The political deadlock in Papua New Guinea has now dragged into a third day. The country now has 2 Prime Ministers and 2 Governors-General. Sir Michael Somare and Peter O'Neill also have their own cabinets and their own police chiefs. Earlier this week, Sir Michael was reinstated as the legitimate leader by Governor-General Michael Ojo. But Peter O'Neill is refusing to back down. He suspended Mr Ojo and appointed his own Governor-General, who's sworn him in as Prime Minister. Associate Professor Anne Toomey is a constitutional law expert, and she says an election might be needed to bring an end to the stalemate.
Normally you'd say, OK, whoever the court says is the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister because that's a matter of law and then you work from there. But the other side of it is normally whoever has the confidence of the Parliament is the person who's the Prime Minister. Now the way this would normally play out would be, OK, if the court says that Mr Somare is the Prime Minister, then he would come to the Parliament and the Parliament would potentially vote no confidence in him, and if they did vote no confidence in him, he'd have to resign and the Governor-General would then appoint someone else. Or if he didn't resign, the Governor-General would dismiss him. That's how things would play out in Australia. But the difference in PNG is that Mr Somare is staying out of the Parliament. So the Parliament, on the one hand, is saying that Mr O'Neill is the Prime Minister. The courts, on the other hand, have said that Mr Somare is the Prime Minister, and the Governor-General and the Queen are stuck somewhere in the middle.
So then, if there was simply a no-confidence motion, if Sir Michael Somare actually turned up to Parliament and such a motion was moved, would something as simple and straightforward as this actually resolve the situation?
Well, it would, but you've got to go through a set of procedures to get that no-confidence motion going, notice and all the rest of it, so it would take a period of time to do. But it would also then involve the Governor-General taking the step of dismissing him if he didn't resign. But at the moment, we've got none of that actually properly in play, and I think that's one of the real difficulties. I think it certainly can play out peaceably, and of course we would all hope that it does. I think ultimately it comes down not to the questions of what the legalities are in the Constitution, but mostly this is really an issue of politics and the power of personality and, you know, who has the most support. And the bottom line is, you know, who's going to end up with the most support in the Parliament, because the Parliament obviously is necessary for any government to be able to carry on, to appropriate money, to pass laws. So in the end, whoever has the control of the Parliament will end up in control. It might end up that you end up having to have an election to sort it out at this stage, because you really need perhaps some voice of the people to make this decision rather than Queens or Governors-General.